I recently had to experience something that scarred me for life. But what I did after was even crazier. But before we begin, please hit the like button and let me know where in the world you're watching from today. It's always fascinating seeing who's joining us. My name's Rachel Whitaker, 40 years old, born in the misty hills of Asheville, North Carolina. I spent 15 years believing marriage meant partnership. Then, one January night, my husband Mark spun the office intern across a Hartford hotel ballroom, dipping her so low the crowd actually applauded. I stood on the edge of the parquet in the satin pumps I'd worn at our wedding, holding 2 flutes of champagne that suddenly tasted metallic. Mark's smirk cut through the music. He mouthed, "Watch and learn, wallflower." Fury wove through my ribs like barbed wire. I didn't make a scene. Instead, I slipped into the corridor, snow-cold air rushing under the exit sign. Mark thought I'd fetch coats. He didn't know I'd memorized every banking password he kept taped beneath his keyboard. An hour earlier, I'd transferred our rainy day fund, $62,000, into an account only I could reach. My bakery profits fueled most of it anyway. You ever feel your spine solidify in one decisive heartbeat? That was me at the valet stand, car keys trembling like tiny cymbals. 3 hours later, the Connecticut state line vanished in my rear view. I drove south through the dark, adrenaline keeping the Honda's cabin warmer than the heater ever could. Mark's calls pinged my phone until the battery died. I let it. Dawn painted the Blue Ridge Peaks lavender as I pulled into my late mother's driveway. The porch still smelled of her lavender sachets. I inhaled, and grief mingled with grim resolve. Inside, childhood memories flickered. Mom dusting flour off her cheeks while teaching me to braid cinnamon roll dough. I let that sweetness steady me. Then I opened my laptop and filed a change of address form. Mark would learn I'd gone missing when the separation notice hit his office inbox, courtesy of overnight courier. I added a line, "Future communication through counsel only." Tell me, friend, have you ever felt anger sharpen into strategy? By lunchtime, I sat opposite Ava Reynolds, my college roommate turned attorney. We sipped caramel lattes in a cafe that smelled like first dates. "Mark's coffee bean venture is registered in your LLC," Ava murmured, fingers dancing over her tablet. "Technically, you own the fulfillment software and supplier contracts." My heart did a hopeful somersault. Ava filed an emergency motion freezing every remaining joint account. Mark liked bragging that he handled the finances. He was about to handle overdraft notices instead. That evening, curiosity nudged me toward social media. Photos from the gala already bounced around Mark's company Slack. Regional sales star shows off moves. Comments teased how I left early. One gif of Lily's giggle nearly cracked my resolve. Instead, I opened the fulfillment dashboard for Whitaker Beans and toggled every product to discontinued. 1,000 subscribers received refunds and apology emails bearing Mark's signature, because I uploaded his digital signature file years ago. I played victory music on my mom's dusty record player and danced barefoot on hardwood. Does payback ever taste like fresh-baked snickerdoodles to you? It did to me the next morning when I rolled dough and plotted step 2. Lily, sweet office darling, had posted a behind-the-scenes reel showing unpaid interns packing coffee bags. Labor law goldmine. I forwarded the clip, anonymously, to Clara Armitage, investigative reporter at the Hartford Daily Business. 36 hours later, a headline screamed that Whitaker Beans exploited free labor. Mark's press photo looked ghost gray beneath fluorescent newsroom lights. I toasted the screen with a mug that said Boss Baker. Mark finally tracked down my new number and left a voicemail thick with rehearsed sincerity. "Come home and talk like adults." He didn't mention Lily. His voice cracked halfway through my name. I deleted the message. Silence can be louder than screams, I thought, wiping flour from my wrists. Days rolled by like dough under a pin. Frozen bank cards, stalled shipments, and anxious investors eroded Mark's swagger. HR summoned him for a reputational risk review. I arrived with Ava, wearing Mom's opal brooch, a tiny moon over my heartbeat. Mark slammed a flash drive onto the table, convinced it proved I'd embezzled. Ava slid LLC tax returns forward. Independent income, she said. Her bakery profits funded that transfer. Mark's jaw unhinged. HR's eyebrow arched. Suspended, pending investigation. On the drive back, I pulled into a roadside diner and ordered tomato soup like Mom made whenever storms knocked out power. The smell flashed me to second grade. Candlelight, raindrops drumming the roof, Mom promising we were safe. Nostalgia melted the last guilt ice in my chest. I texted Ava. Not done yet. Remember Lily? Her internship contract listed me as supervisor. If unpaid hours were illegal, she shared liability. I served her a cease and desist, retract any claim that Mark supervised her or face wage theft charges. Lily vanished from Mark's feed so fast the algorithm hiccuped. That night, I lay under my childhood quilt and wondered if karma had a purr. The universe felt oddly hushed, satisfied. Mark's suspension turned into termination when the board reviewed Clara's follow-up exposé. They cited labor violations, hostile environment complaints, and fiduciary negligence. He lost salary, stock options, the company Jeep. Ava and I waited outside the building like silent winter trees. Mark emerged, shoulders sagging. He whispered, "You ruined me." His breath fogged the icy air. I answered with Mom's favorite phrase, "Spotlights fade, self-respect doesn't." He flinched as if slapped. Weeks later, I listed our Connecticut house. Mark tried stalling the sale until a judge reminded him it was solely in my name, signed that way for tax perks he once bragged about. The open house buzzed with curated candles and soft jazz. Offers flooded in above asking. On closing day, I left one thing behind on the mantel. The silver ankle bracelet Mark gave me on our honeymoon, the night he said we'd always dance as one. It twinkled under recessed lights like a tiny disco ball reflecting nobody. With proceeds in hand, I expanded my bakery into a sunlight-bright storefront on Asheville's main street. Mountain Frost cakes. Opening morning smelled of warm vanilla and possibility. A line curved down the block. Ava stood first, waving a steaming cup of my signature mocha. She whispered, "Free of charge, CEO." I laughed until my ribs ached. Mid-shift, a courier delivered final settlement papers. Mark agreed to a 7-figure damages payment for emotional distress, business interference, and intellectual property theft. The courier also handed me a padded envelope. Inside lay a crumpled photo from our wedding. Mark mid-dip, me laughing, oblivious. I slid the picture into the bakery's tip jar. Customers dropped coins over it, burying the past 1/4 at a time. Do you know that moment when the air finally tastes like your own? I felt it that sunset, broom in hand as golden light draped the bakery windows. Cinnamon and cardamom mingled, promising tomorrow would smell even sweeter. I locked up, stepped onto the sidewalk, and let mountain twilight settle over my shoulders like a soft shawl. Maybe you're wondering if revenge was worth the sleepless nights. Friend, power reclaimed is never wasted. Mark once twirled another woman as if I were decorative scenery. Now he scrolls rental listings while recruiters ghost him. Meanwhile, I teach Saturday baking classes to girls who think business math and buttercream roses belong together. Watching their eyes light up feels better than any ballroom spotlight. Before you click away, let me ask, have you ever stood so still your heart seemed invisible, then chosen motion only you could command? That's the dance I learned, the waltz of walking out, the tango of taking back control. And if one listener tonight needs courage to leave their own lopsided dance floor, may this story slide a key into their palm. I believe stories like this find us for a reason. If this one touched you, please subscribe. I share a new one every day, and tomorrow's might be the one your heart's been waiting for.